Hey friends, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Alta Vista Energy Center. I'm a Native American from the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina. And in the next few minutes, I want to discuss the sacred ceremony commonly known as smudging. Smudging is an especially important aspect of the daily lives of many Native or indigenous cultures worldwide. There are many similarities with those cultures and just as many differences as how to perform the sacred ceremony. However, there are a few do's and don'ts for you to be aware of when embarking on this practice. So, one of my goals is in this teaching is that we always keep foremost in mind that we show respect to the culture that practices smudging. In some form, smudging has been done for millennia, not only in North America, but all across the planet. So, interspersed in this teaching, you'll hear me talk respectfully about the ceremony and its sacred medicine and encourage you to speak of it in the same manner. So, I'll divide the sacred practice into three categories. One, the items that you will need for the ceremony. Number two, how to prepare yourself to use them in the ceremony. And number three, how to use them ceremonially. There are lots of words that I've used with that ceremony root in it, correct? So, as the items you will need are a feather, and not just any feather. Most widely known is the bald eagle feather. And as a side note, I'd like to let you know that possessing an eagle feather is actually illegal in the United States unless one has ceremonially been bestowed on you from a native tribe within the U.S. However, there are other feathers that can be used, other eagle species, owls, and the like. What you wouldn't want to use would be like a chicken feather or a synthetic feather. That wouldn't be acceptable for a sacred ceremony. But you can use your hand to move the air around the sacred medicine. The next thing that you would need is sage, the sacred medicine. Specifically white sage. It can come in a bundle or it can come even loose leaf, but try to obtain your sage from a sustainable cultivator or grower because there are concerns that it's being over harvested. And you can even grow your own if you would like to. The next item that you'll need is a receptacle for the burning. Historically, the first peoples of North America used shells, specifically abalone shells. You can also use a natural clay vessel as well. Fourth, and finally, you're going to need a way to light the sage. The most common and easiest way is with matches. You can also consider using flint as a proper method for lighting the sacred medicine. However, never use a lighter, as it's not a natural element and is contrary to performing the ceremony that always uses items found in nature. So now you have your tools in place. The next question is, how do you use them? Some people light the sage bundle, which sometimes is difficult to maintain a good smoke since the bundles are usually wrapped pretty tightly. The result can be frustration, which is not the goal. The goal is peace and tranquility in the sacred ceremony. The recommendation is that you shred the sacred medicine in the bowl or simply pull the leaves out of the bundle. Use as much as you think you will need for your ceremony. And if you need more, you can always add more sage leaves during the burning. In starting the burn and keeping the smoke going, remember not to blow your breath on the sacred medicine. It's considered disrespectful. That is the work of the feather, or your hand. So make sure you have that close by for that purpose to keep the air circulating around the sacred medicine. So once lit, fanning it with the feather will enliven the embers and the smoke will begin to rise. And as a side note, you should consider placing the shell on a wooden tripod or some other fire-resistant device which can be purchased, or you could use a natural cloth or something like that so that so that it doesn't get too hot in your hand. Now that you have all of your items in place and you know how to use them properly, what does the sacred ceremony look like? The ceremony can take many forms depending on the outcome that you're looking for. Is it a smudging for cleansing your environment? Or is it to manifest a desire? Is it to bring healing into your body or someone else? For this video, I'll describe how you might create a ceremony for a desire or a wish that you want to manifest in your life. And so here are a few points that are requisite for doing a smudge so that the results will be life-giving, affirming, and healing to your mind, body, and your soul. Start by asking these simple questions. What do I want? Once you know, write it down. Then ask, can I be more specific about my desire? Or can I make my desire clearer and more precise? So here's an example we can start with. You could say, I need a job. But that statement is so general that it needs to be honed and refined, right? So what would a refined statement look like? It might look something like this. I need a job that pays whatever amount you think you need to be paid for that job. It needs to be in a specific city. I need it by a specific date. Or you might want to add, I want my job title and responsibilities to be. So as you're doing this refining process, I want you to consider using your 5 senses in its creation. So go with me on this and you'll see how this connects to you setting up your intention and really making your desire clear. So think about what the job will look like, and that has to do with your site. What people will be there? Who will you see? What equipment will you work with? Will you work in an office? In some specific type of building? Will you be on the road? Will you drive a vehicle? What will that look like? How will it taste? Now, a job might not necessarily taste or take on a form that you would put to your mouth, right? But you could say that getting that job would be delicious. You could say that getting that job would be appealing or yummy. It doesn't have to be literal. It can be figurative or literal when you're talking about taste or any of these senses for that matter. How does it feel? What would your hands be doing? Where would you sit or stand or move? How would your body feel in that environment? And that has to do with touch. What does it smell like? Sense of smell. So what aromas would be surrounding your desired environment? Would they be smells of food? If you wanted to work for the airline, jet fuel. If you did something in it or wanted to do a job in a natural environment, maybe wood. It could be whatever aromas you think would connect to that job. Consider them, think about them, create them in your mind. And finally, what does it sound like? Hearing. Are there loud noises? Will there be music? Will there be people talking in a meeting perhaps? Or you might hear people in other cubicles on the telephone. Or could your job, your desired job, be silent? So once you've honed your desire down to its essence, jot it down for your subsequent smudging ceremony. And here's an important point. This sacred ceremony is not a once and done event. This can and should become a way of life for us. Any spiritual practice, if not practiced, is not effective in bringing out our best selves. So consider how this beautiful practice can become a permanent part of your life. Do it often and for the most favorable results. Okay. Now you're ready for your sacred ceremony, so let's begin. Find a quiet place as possible. Play meditative music if you like. And begin by breathing gently, yet deeply, as you light the sacred medicine. Once it's lit and the smoke begins to rise, with your own voice or in your mind, begin to recall your intention for doing this beautiful ceremony. Use a cheat sheet if necessary to help you remember your intention. Bring all your senses to the ceremony. Sense your desire coming to fruition. See it, feel it, hear it, taste it, and touch it. Once you've achieved that state, simply rest in it for as long as you feel connected to the ceremony. And when the feelings dissipate, you've finished the ceremony. Just let the sacred medicine embers die out on their own. Don't douse the sacred medicine with water, and definitely don't smother out the medicine. Afterwards, you can return them to the earth when it is completely extinguished. Your ceremony is done. So what's next? Think about and plan the next time you'll do the ceremony. And also, and more importantly, begin to anticipate your answer coming to you. Look for surprises, synchronicities, and follow the signs that will show up in your life. When this happens, act on them. You'll know what to do. So I want to thank you for watching and listening. So please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And once you've embarked on this journey and are making it a practice, please leave some comments and tell us the story of how this sacred practice has changed your life. Because I know that could be encouraging not only to yourself, but to me and to others who watch the channel. Remember to be kind to one another and to the earth. For now, thank you. And until part 2 of this teaching, be blessed. Thank you.